Hi everyone, welcome back to the last video, the last video on this nice little town Halloween page. We're going to do the dresser and all the little bits and pieces today. I've been having a little bit of a think. Now my favourite purple colour or violet colour is the Manganese violet, and I thought I would do the dresser in this colour and then just work from there really and see what we needed. I'm going to come in a little bit closer, but the dress is quite big. Oh, there we go. So I'm just going to start by really going all over it in the colour, and then we'll think about sort of where it might be darker and lighter really. Well, we can't make it lighter, but we can make it darker. So this is going to make it quite purpley on this little bit of the page, but I think it's more fun than making it wood colour. We've got a lot of browns going on as well, and it's a nice Halloweeny shade. I think I do like I don't know, my son says purple isn't Halloweeny, but I always think purple is, but hey. What do I know? We don't do Halloween. But anyway. Now you may notice I'm avoiding doing the door handles, although I managed to go with that one a little bit if I can. I was going to do them in a sort of silvery grey, I thought I might. So there's that bit. Now I'm going to do some shading on this bit before we go up, just because it's more fun to stop for a bit and put a bit of a darker colour under here. Like that. And I'm thinking maybe under here, under the drawers, not shortening between them a little bit, not really sure. What's quite interesting is this disappears off under here. I'm a bit confused by that. My dryer is just beeping. I'm going to go and sort it out because my husband's asleep, so he won't be doing it. Hold on a minute. Right, I am back. I grabbed a cardigan as well while I was out of the room. I'm feeling a little bit chilled. I'm just going to do this upright here quite lightly. I want to do the bits the sort of inside the shelves a bit darker, and keep these bits that are further forward a little bit lighter. I'm doing it in directional strokes like this because I'm thinking it might probably be made of wood. There might be a bit of wood grain in there. Now I have this little piece here which is sort of pretty. I'm just going to do that in an even colour to start with, and then show you. I think this little bit on the bottom might be slightly rounded like that. We might find that this bit is more shadowy under here. Like that, and maybe there are shadows in those edges there. Maybe we'll make that one rounded too, so maybe that's a bit darker on the outside there. Just fade that out a little bit. There we go, that's fun. And then we'll go across this shelf. Now this back bit, I'm thinking maybe it'd be darker at the bottom, like these shelves up here. So I'm going to put a few more layers of colour here, and then sort of fade it up a bit towards the upper part like that. It's not that faded, is it? And a darker bit here. Now the bottom part of this dresser now looks really quite light. I might want to add another layer of colour at the end, but I'm not sure yet. This bit at the top would actually be quite dark because it's got the shadow of that shelf above on it. So hopefully that sort of works. Yeah, I think so. Now this one's a bit complex. We've got this mushroomy. We'll start over here. Do this easier bit first. So starting to fade it here, because it's sort of here that's going to be my lightest bit because it's a bit dark under that shelf. Do the dark shelf all the way along. That's quite easy. Now down here we'll start to fade it down a bit. Bring it up a bit from the bottom, a bit dark. Now I'm trying to work out, I think that's the bottom, so we can see through here and here and there. So this is going to be a darker bit here. It's going to get lighter. Yeah, it's quite fun that, isn't it? Sort of mushroomy skull. Quite strange. But that's good. Okay, so there's that bit. We'll do this upright here next, I think. Oops, just move something out of my way. There we go. All the way up. Yeah, my washing still wasn't dry. It seems to take quite a long time to dry. I'm wondering if I need to spin it a bit longer in my washing machine first, and then it would dry more quickly. But anyway. Talk about laundry is not very exciting, is it? So I want to keep this fairly light, but where we've got this detailing here, I think if we put a little bit of shadow under each of the coils, it just makes it look a little bit more three-dimensional. The same here, put a little bit under there and a little bit under here. Now we can add some shape to here as well by just making it a little bit darker on each edge. And we could even do that down this whole pole, because I think this is supposed to be slightly rounded. I'm just moving something because it keeps rattling. There we go. I've got a pen pot, a pencil sort of holder pot, and it's in between the two parts of my desk where you can see a line joining two bits. And when I lean on the one bit, it rattles. Stop rattling, little pencil pot. So I'm going to put a bit darker here, I think. It doesn't really matter where you put it, you have to just think about where you think the shadow might be. I'm thinking maybe that bit is tucked in a little bit, so it's a bit darker under there, maybe, and then maybe that bit just a bit darker, like that. And I'm thinking maybe these bits are darker and these bits are sort of standing out. A bit darker here because it's got some lines drawn. A bit of guidance. Okay. Now, excuse me. Now this shelf is through here. Oh, let's do these across pieces. These are nice and straightforward. I think this one's quite simple. Start darker down here. Just a bit lighter as you go up there, and then here I can do pretty much the same shade, a little bit darker under here. There's a bit of a shadow from the shelf. Shadow from the shelf. It's a bit of a alliteration, isn't it? There we go. And this one, she's got a little piece here, look, and on the shelf below. So I'm going to make that, colour that in now to remind me that it's there and keep that a little bit lighter. So take that slightly darker colour up, and hopefully by doing this bit a bit darker in the background, it just gives the illusion it's a little bit further away, it's not catching the light, and therefore it's sort of the back of the shelving. Oops. And so I've got a little bit darker here and here. I'm going to do the same on here, so it'll be a little bit darker at the bottom and lighter as we go up. And then, as we have before, a little bit darker under the shelf, but quickly fade that to make it a bit paler at the top. Now I'm just having a look and seeing how I've done all the bits and how it looks. I'm quite pleased with that. We have got this sort of top detail to do. Again, I'm going to start with a light colour. and go all the way down. And then I'm just thinking about, I'm thinking it might be a little bit darker at the bottom. Don't want to make it too dark though, because I think it's more likely to be sort of in front of this. But this bit makes it look like that bit's curved to me. So if I just put a bit of colour in there, a bit more. I'm going to put a little bit more on this top bit. I don't know why. A bit at each end of those little bits, like that. Okay. So we've used lots of manganese violet. Now I said I was going to do the glass green. So let's have a look for a green. Should we do emerald green? I think so. Grab this is the emerald green. It's quite small. I think what I'll do is I'll come in a little closer for the glass. And we'll move the book around a little bit. Here we go. We've got some down here, so we'll start here. So this is actually, looks like to me, a drinking glass, and this one with some florals in, but I think we'll keep these with the green idea. Now to make something look shiny, you want to leave some white. So I'm doing these sort of, what I think would be the darker areas first. And then just a light bit towards the middle, and as I say, leave some white to make it look shiny. And the same with this one. So with this one I think I'm just going to go darker around the edge and then lighten it towards the middle. Just quite simple. Like that. And now we've got this glass jar of eyes. Again, all the glass is going to be green, regardless of whether it contains eyes or whatever it might be. We've got gnome glass there. Let's move. We've got, I think that's a sack or something. Here we have a glass. I've missed out a bit of the violet there. Okay, back to the emerald. So I'm going to do it darker on each side and the bottom, and then just gently bring it in towards the centre from each side and leave a bit of white in the middle, like that. Where else? We've got this tall glass bottle. Do this in the same sort of way, put some darker bits there. Just sort of ignore the label, we'll do that after. So bring that in and leave a bit of a white line. Now with this one, line the white line up with the one at the top, like that. It really doesn't take too long when you're using the same colour for them all. And here, a little bit each side, and then just darker around the edge, and then have it white towards the very centre. Now the bottles, I'm going to put all the bottles to have the same colour label and the same colour cork to keep that consistency through. Okay, so I'm going to do the corks next. Now we did one in nougat earlier, so we're going to do that again. Did we? Am I lying? Was it Bistre? I think it was Bistre. We haven't used the nougat, have we? Can't find it now. Here it is. The Bistre. We're going to use that for all the corks. So as I did before, go over the whole thing and then make it a little bit darker at each side. It's really straightforward. Whoops, gone all drunk, squiffy. Let's keep going down. I've got one here. I pressed a little bit harder on this one because I think the background colour is really similar to the cork colour. Now down here we have a couple of bags. I'm going to colour them with this brown because I want to make it tie together. So not only will the bottles and glass all tie together, but so will the other items. So I've done a layer, and I'm just going to put a few darker areas in where the sort of crinkles are. I think that's another bag there. Try and think about what else we've got here that we need to do with it all. Okay, so a little bit up there and down there. Now, got the lid of a couple of ones have got lids that we need to think about. This box here I'm going to do next. I think it should be a silvery box. So I'm going to use my cold grey 3 to try and make a silvery, sorry you can't see it, a silver box. So I'm going to go over most of it, stop there, up from the lid, stop there, a little bit of a gap in here, go in there and there. Now I'm going to put in some more layers. So the leg I think will be quite dark, and this area in here, so I'm just going to go around the edge really dark. And then under here, take it up and leave a bit of white sort of around this area. And I'm going to colour this bit in a bit darker as if it's engraved. There we go. The lid, we've got a couple of lids that are different colours. Thinking, should we do them orange? They'd really stand out though. I don't know if I want them to stand out that much. Let's do them silver. Let's use the silver. So a bit dark on each end and leave it white in the middle so it shines. Now we have got we've got a label. I'm thinking maybe we could use one of our slightly darker browns for the label. So let's go to the burnt umber and use that for all our labels. I'm going to just use it quite lightly though, but you can see it's a really different colour brown to what we've used for the sack, which is the idea. I'm going to use that for my tie as well on there, and here the same. Okay. I'm going to do the lid of the bottle in a jar in silver like I did the one below. So this is cold grey 3 again. I've still got it in my hand. So put it at each end, just fade it towards the middle, and put it around part of the top. There we go. Okay, now these bottle labels. This one. We've got a few at the top as well. Can you see? No. There we go. Now I'm just doing them quite lightly. And then there's that consistency there between all of them. Okay, now let's go back down a little bit. We have these boxes and we have mushrooms and things. And I was thinking about grabbing the terracotta again. We use that quite a lot already. I thought I might tie it in if we use terracotta for the mushrooms. Quite dark there and less here. I don't want to go with a bright orange. I don't want them to stand out any more than anything else in this dresser. If I did them really bright orange like the pumpkin things at the top, I think they would stand out too much. So I'm just trying to make them a little bit dark on the edges. And then I'm going to use my cold grey for the stems. But I'm going to colour the whole thing in, because I don't want it to look shiny. I'm going to leave the skull white. I think it's effective like that. I decided that I'm going to do these boxes in a terracotta as well. We've used a lot of different shades of brown, so I thought it might just be a little bit different. And you see, if I use it quite lightly, it doesn't look like the same colour. not exactly the same anyway, which I think is a good thing. I'm just going to put a slightly darker bit under the lid to shadow it a little bit, like that. Now this pot, I was also thinking terracotta. Now obviously we've got this sort of fire on it. I think what we'd do is we'd do the main part of the pot in terracotta, and then I'll leave the fire and do it in a minute. So I'm making it darker here. I'm trying to not make it too faded because terracotta doesn't shine, but we want to see some difference in colour intensity, I should say. My dryer is beeping at me. I have to go and look at it. Hold on a minute. I am back, sorry. The fluff filter was full on my dryer. It's all very exciting, isn't it? Right, so we've done a bit of the terracotta colour on this pot. We've got to think about the fire. Now I'd quite like some orangey fire on there, but I don't want it to really stand out. So I thought I would use the cadmium orange, but use it quite gently. And I'm not going to try and shade it and make it look realistic in any way, because I don't want it to really stand out. As I say, I quite like all the things around here to look quite similar. My sort of focal point for my picture is really, I hope, to be these sort of oranges, the fireplace and the things on the other side, and so I don't really want these to really stand out loads. I think I'll do it a little bit darker at the bottom though, but just not too much. There we go. Okay, that's quite fun. Now we have a pot here and we have some books here. I'm thinking we could do that as a terracotta pot. So I've grabbed my terracotta and we'll just do it a little bit like that. Now the books, I was thinking I might use this orange, as I kept it in my hand. The cadmium orange, again, I don't want it really bright. I think I'll do this book in the orange. Now when I do books, I tend to do them a little darker at the edges and lighter towards the middle to try and give the impression that the spine is slightly curved over rather than completely flat. So that's one. I want to do I'm going to grab the mauve actually, oops, and do a mauve book. This is the mauve, you can't really see. I know I've left bits, I'll show you that in a minute. So we can't, the reason I'm using the mauve is because it's the darkest purple we've used, and we need this to stand out a little bit from the dresser colour behind. There we go, and we need a green one. I'm going to use the Hooskers green that we used for the plant above, just so it's a bit different to our glass green. I think a dark green book is quite attractive. I think dark colours are rather elegant, also a little old-fashioned. It's quite fun. There we go. So now I'm going to grab the Cold Grey 3 to do a sort of silvery look to the bits that we left. I'm just going to do them in the same way as we did the coloured bit. That was looking quite orange, so a bit darker on the edges. Like that. Okay, now I'm looking and I think I may have finished. I'm going to come out and have a look at it as a whole. Now some of my colours are quite pale and you could make them darker if you want to, but I quite like it as it is. I like this stands out quite well, and this sort of pops of orange. I like that, and the consistency of some of the colours. We've got a more autumnal looking little bit here, which I rather like. I think that's my favourite bit. But there we go. I think we are done. So I really enjoyed doing that one. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of pictures in this book. It's it's a fun little book. The pages have black on the back so you can use your pens and you can't see the bleed through if there is any. Obviously you would still want to put some paper behind like I have, so that just in case it does go through. And I find this tends to mark a little bit onto the paper, so it's always wise. You don't want it going through onto your next picture. But there are some real fun pictures in this book. I have done a flip through. So it's worth having a little look. I've just remembered I haven't done the cupboard handles, have I? Cold Grey 3. Hard around the edge and lighter in the middle, make them shine. Well, they won't really shine because they're quite purple, where I didn't stay in the lines. There we go. But yeah, as I say, there's quite a few fun pictures in this one if you're looking for a Halloween themed book. I know there are lots out there, but I don't have many of them. And this is one that I do. So there we go. Oh, thank you for watching. I am sleepy today. I didn't get a lot of sleep. Anyway, hope you enjoy the rest of your day and happy colouring.